Paul said, from Jerusalem, this is 15:17 of Romans, from Jerusalem, I get the geography, all the way around to Illyricum, that's Albania, northern Greece. From Jerusalem to Illyricum, I have fulfilled the gospel. Literal translation. I have fulfilled the gospel, and thus I make it my ambition to preach the gospel not where Christ is already named, lest I build on someone else's foundation. But as it is written, those who have never been told of him will see, and those who have never heard will understand. This is the reason why I have so often been hindered in coming to you. In other words, I kept trying to do that from Jerusalem to Illyricum. But, verse 23, but now, since I no longer have any room for work in these regions. What regions? From Jerusalem to Albania, there's no room. What? I mean, when you read that, you've got to come to terms with the difference between local ministry and frontier missions. There is no way to make sense of this. So, verse 23, now, since I no longer have any room for work in these regions, and since I have longed for many years to come to you in Rome, I hope to see you in passing as I go to Spain. There's room in Spain. And to be helped on my journey there by you, once I have enjoyed your company for a little while. Now, two things are astonishing in that text. One, he says, I have fulfilled the gospel from Jerusalem to Illyricum. And number two, he says, there's no room for me to do any work here. Now, why not? Answer, he's a missionary. He's not a pastor. There's plenty. Listen, we've read the pastoral epistles. We've read Colossians. We've read Ephesians. We know there are tens of thousands of unbelievers in this region. What do you mean there's no room for you to work here? There's thousands and thousands of people in Minneapolis who don't know Jesus. And Raleigh-Durham, and Seattle, and Dallas, and wherever all these other folks come from. Philadelphia. There's thousands of unbelievers there, and no room for missionaries. They're going to Spain. Well, no, they're not going to Spain. They're going to Afghanistan. They're going to northern India. They're going to the outer backs of China. They're going to Indonesia and out onto the coasts. They're going to places which today nobody wants them to come. Believe me, to finish the Great Commission is to mainly go among Hindus and Muslims today. Almost all the unreached groups that are left are Hindu and Muslim, and they don't want you to come. That's why Paul got stoned and whipped 5 times and beaten with rods 3 times and imprisoned times without number and was in danger on the streets and in the cities and in the country. Nobody wanted him to come. And the first place he went was the place that wanted him least, the synagogue. Missions is not being invited. If there's somebody to invite you, it's not a mission field. Mission says we will learn about these peoples. We will learn about missions movements. We will study and preach and pray and advocate until there rises up a growing band in our church of radical, global, Paul-type, frontier, pioneer, culture-crossing, language-learning, lifetime missionaries.